To start making a BPMN diagram, open Visio Premium 2010 and click the Flowchart category. Double-click BPMN Diagram. The drawing page is blank, but I know I want my shapes organized in pools and swim lanes, so that's a good place to start. I'll drag a pool lane shape over to the page. Since I need 2 lanes in this pool, I'll add a second one by holding the pointer over the corner and then clicking the blue arrow that appears. With 2 or more lanes, Visio adds a title to the pool. I might as well change the labels now, so I'll click the title text once and start typing. Prosware Inc. The top lane is for the Processing Center, and the bottom lane is for the Help Desk. Now I'll add a second pool for the customer and change the label. Each pool will have its own sequence with start and end events, so I'll drag a start event onto the appropriate lane in each pool. I'll label the customer event Customer Changes Address by selecting the shape and typing. Since the Prosware Inc. sequence is more complex than the customer sequence, I'll fill in the Prosware pool and then line up customer under it. I'll add shapes and connectors in one click by using the floating mini toolbar that appears when I hold the pointer over a shape and then over the little blue arrow that appears. The 4 shapes that it shows are the first ones in the Quick Shapes area of the stencil. But the preview shape that appears on the page by default is a start event, which isn't in the Quick Shapes area. It's showing up because Start Event is selected in the stencil. I want a task shape though, so I'll click that on the floating toolbar. The next shape I need is the Collapsed Subprocess shape, which isn't in the Quick Shapes area. I could drag one from the stencil, but I'll select it in the stencil and click the blue arrow when Collapsed Subprocess shows up as the preview shape. The collapsed subprocess is in the wrong lane, but that's easily fixed by dragging it where it needs to go. Now I need a task, another task, and finally the end event. The customer sequence is quite short. 2 tasks, and an end event. I just need to line up the customer tasks with the help desk tasks because message flows run between them. To complete the connections, I'll add the message flows between the pools. I can do that quickly by holding the pointer over the blue arrow that points from one shape to the other in the direction of the flow. The mini toolbar appears, but I can ignore that now. Visio detects that a shape is directly across from this shape, and it's within connection range, so it puts a preview of a connector on the page. It's a solid sequence flow. It needs to be a dashed message flow, but I can change it from one to the other, so I'll click the arrow to keep it. When I right-click the connector, I see the 3 types of connecting objects at the top of the shortcut menu. I just click the one I want, in this case, message flow. I do the same thing for the other message, except this one comes from the Prosware pool to the customer pool. One last thing to do to get the foundations in place. Identify what kinds of tasks these are. The ones in the help desk lane are user tasks. A person does something. So I'll right-click the first task, point to Task Type, and click User. Activities at the processing center are automated, so I'll select the script type for that one. Then back to the help desk with another user task. I'll show what to do with the collapsed subprocess shape in the next video.